If you haven't seen the Icon versus Snap-on video that is absolutely blowing up the internet, I don't know what rock you've been under, but a bunch of people reached out because I've been covering Harbor Freight for nearly a decade and tool truck alternatives, helping people stay off the frickin' tool truck for nearly as long. So I'm going to give you my 2 cents, but first, for those of you few who haven't seen it, I got to show it to you. Here's the part that matters.
All right, that's the Icon. Here's the Snap-on.
What are we looking for here?
This is a pain in the butt doing it with the open end. I've never done it with the open end, I don't think. One of them's going to slip, and we'll see it on there. So, I think it's a box end, Thomas.
I've seen it with the open end, too.
We're going to... Ladies and gentlemen, the Snap-on wrench just slipped.
Now, I know you're wondering, what is this test about? Why does he have a nylon nut? How is that pertinent? So the nylon nut test is something that Snap-on dealers would do. It's what I call it's one of the part of the traveling salesman gimmick tests, all right? So the guy would show up to a garage and he'd have the nylon nut in his pocket and he'd have one of the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus, the wrenches with teeth, basically. And he'd go up to the guy and find the guy who doesn't have a toothed wrench. And he'd go, hey, I'll challenge you with this one versus yours. And he'd get the guy's wrench and he'd put it on the nylon nut and he'd put the one with teeth on it. And guess what? The one with teeth would win. All right. And even if he had a Snap-on tool, that the Flank Drive, not the Flank Drive Plus, he'd do it. And again, the one with teeth would win. So he'd have to upgrade. But I'll give you a good deal on yours, buy yours back used, that kind of thing. Traveling salesman, right? Anyway, this has been a thing for decades. Before the internet, before as seen on TV, stuff like this is really common. In fact, ask anybody ask your dad, anybody my age, I'm 55 or older. We've seen this kind of gimmicky stuff and know it for what it is. There's all sorts of, you saw, like, if you're old enough, the old Ginsu knife commercials where they cut an aluminum can. Look how sharp it is. It cuts an aluminum can. Or Cutco would do this one where they'd take kitchen shears and they'd cut a penny, because I can remember how many times I needed to cut a penny with my kitchen shears. So there's a bunch of these tests. Go to any state fair, any decent sized state fair, and there's going to be a pavilion where they're selling all sorts of cheap, gimmicky kind of stuff. And you'll see guys, just booth after booth after booth, guys pulling the same kind of crap, all right? And I apologize. I'm trying to keep this one above board. I've had to redo this video like 20 times because I get so pissed at the Snap-on fanboys, because you guys will make up any excuse rather than the truth. People in this video, you'll see it. They're going to call me. They're going to call me a shill. They're going to say I'm paid by Harbor Freight. They're going to make up anything. I've never been paid by Harbor Freight. I have to file taxes on all of this. All right, the federal government would know, and if I don't disclose, I get to go to jail for that. I'm not going to jail for Harbor Freight. Sorry, I'm not. It's not worth it, guys. And the fact of the matter is, Harbor Freight doesn't pay people. Do they send out free tools? Yeah, so does about everyone else. All right. You know what? You don't believe me? Now, I did tests on this, and I showed like 4 or 5 years ago, I showed that Snap-on didn't measure up, and I got flamed for that. Well, you know what? Torque Test Channel, they did one not like a year ago or something. They did it with the toothed version, and guess who came out on it first? Wasn't Snap-on. Wasn't even close. All right. Even in people are like, well, they make the best line wrenches. Nope, they lost there too. Here's the fact. This blew up in Snap-on's face so badly, they tried to pull one of these scams again at their own trade show. Now, before I show it to you, I just want you to watch. When he's got the Icon wrench, he's going to put it on the bar, and he's going to put his left hand on the bench, and he's going to push all his weight off to one side. He's going to go practically off camera. And then when he does, and he's going to jerk it. You're going to see the jerk. When he does the Snap-on one, he's going to slowly lean straight back, left hand behind his back now, not push him. Oh my gosh, look. It's so cringy.
Okay, we're going to try these out. Got an Icon wrench.
13mm piece of steel bar stop. Got a little stuck.
Okay, let's try a Snap-on Flank Drive Plus, 13mm.
fall for this crap? Well, as Malcolm X said,
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled.
and despite all of this, Snap-on fanboys are still going to cry in the comments, and they're going to make up any kind of excuse. I love it. He's using it backwards.
You
That's
have it
the Snap-on?
upside down or the other way? At first you had it upside down.
What do you mean upside down? It doesn't matter which way it goes.
If you are one of the people who said that someone was using a combination wrench backwards, here's the fact. You don't know enough about tools to be talking about it on the internet. I already did a whole video on this. I talked to 5 different engineers. Everyone who knows tools already knew this, but I proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. All right. I talked to 5 engineers. They're like, no, there is no such thing as backwards on what do you call it? One of these wrenches. They're just, a combination wrench is designed to be used both forward and reverse, or flipped over, forward or reverse. It's for ease of access, but the head is symmetrical. And the pressure isn't on the shaft, it's on the corner of the head, which again is symmetrical. Say it with me, symmetrical. The pressure is distributed evenly. What a lot of people are confusing is with crescent wrenches. Crescent wrenches have to be used one way. Why? There's a little arrow on it. See that? Yeah. And even still, people will try to pull all sorts of BS, and they'll do all sorts of gimmicky things. There's even a guy on YouTube who did a video where he shows the icon wrench, or first he shows the Snap-on wrench, and it pulls it and it takes the head off a bolt. Then he puts another bolt on, and he puts the icon on it, and it looks like it's going to be a fair test from the beginning. And then after he gets it so far, he has to adjust it again. But this time when he puts it on, look at that, over half off the bolt. It's not even close. And better yet, if you watch the video, it's at an angle. So when he rounds it off, he's only rounding off the very corner right here. He doesn't round off the whole side. He rounds off the very corner there. And then he goes back and forth and just grinds away at it. Oh, it is the most unethical test I've ever seen. And yet all the Snap-on fanboys are like, oh, you get what you pay for. See, ha, ha, ha. They want to be lied to. They don't want to hear the truth. You know why? Well, it probably has to do with the fact that they paid $674 for a 13-piece set, whereas the Icon guys got a 14-piece set for $60.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
I'm going to link to the Torque Test channel video because you guys, the guy, they still won't believe me. They'll call me a shill. And go call the Torque Test guys a shill. They'll have a good laugh at it. They don't even take free tools. They don't take sponsorships or free tools or any of that stuff. And they're professionals actually in the trade. In fact, some of them are tool testing professionals. They'll get a good laugh out of that. But go check out their video. And you know what? Icon here beat Snap-on. Beat them. Okay, not by a ton, but they beat them. And here's the reality. In these sorts of tests, unless you're sourcing like 100 random samples from different sources, like I got some online, I got some third party, I got some in the store, I went to different stores, I bought them at different times. That's the way actual product testing works, which is one of the reasons I don't hang my hat on it. Because what it does is really, you can't tell like, hey, it beat it by this much, so clearly this one's the best. Yeah, because you don't know next week maybe it's going to be reversed. But what it can tell you is if it's in the ballpark, if it's at the same level. And I got to tell you, the Icon is at the same level. It's $60. You don't like Harbor Freight? You don't want to buy from Harbor Freight? I don't care. I will lose no sleep over it.
I don't care.
Go over to Ace. Shop local. I always tell people if you can shop local. Most Ace hardware stores are owned by local families. Buy local, shop local. Get the Milwaukee set. All right, it's practically the same design. It tied the Snap-ons. Okay, and you know who else? Carlyle. Again, all practically the same design. It came in just right under. So it was like Snap-on and Milwaukee were here. Icon was here. Carlyle was here. They're all in the same ballpark, playing at the same level. Can't lose with any of them unless you buy Snap-on because you just lost $600. You're a schmuck. I'm trying to say above the belt, but if you're still buying Snap-on hand tools at this point, you're a schmuck. All right. Guess who kicked Snap-on and took their lunch money? Mac Tools, Proto Tools, and my personal favorite, Wright tools. Look at this. 1/3 the price. You lose one. You're getting a 12-piece set here. Oh, no, I take it back. It's a 15-piece set. It's 15-piece set. And they beat Snap-on like the redheaded stepchild he is. I can say that because I was a redheaded stepchild. All right. Proto coming with the 10-piece set with the tool wrap also. Mac with that nice tray and everything. The RBRT, anything in the RBRT is solid quality. You can't go wrong. Other than the fact it's $330. Get the Wright. Great people. I've talked to them. This is a great company. Real made in America. And you know what? They're not screwing anybody over. Snap-on targets vets. I've said it for years. No, you don't get a click away on this video. If you're a Snap-on fanboy, all the rest of you already heard this, you can go. You know the truth about this. But if you're a Snap-on fanboy and you're going to type something nasty in the comments, you fucking sit in your seat. Sorry. Sit in your seat and take it like a man. Snap-on has targeted vets for years. They sell their franchise. They don't sell stores. They sell routes. You get these garages you get to go to. And you don't get to change it. Those are the only ones you get. And they know some of those routes are bad. And they specifically go after vets because they know vets are going to get easy financing. So they take a vet who got easy financing, who doesn't have enough business sense to go, well, what were the sales figures like for this one before? No, all they hear is the marketing. With the eagle screeching in the background, the American flag waving, you're selling American-made tools to Americans, from America, by America, for America, America. Then they sell you a truck. They finance your house, your home, your cars, your kids, your fish. They use it all as collateral. Your whole family's life is on the line, and they've sold you a route they know is bad. You know how I know they know? Because they got sued multiple times. This is just the biggest one, $125 million this time. They didn't, and here's what's best. They settled. They didn't just lose. They settled for that. Because they knew it was actually going to be worse. And then they refused to pay and they had to get sued again to get them to pay for the settlement. That's how the company that you're backing is. All right. I have sat on the phone for hours. No, you don't get to leave yet. You have to hear this. In fact, you need to share this with your other Snap-on fanboys. You telling me, I buy American, I buy the best, This company screws over Americans. I've had to sit there and talk to widows crying their hearts out on the phone because their husband lost everything for the family. They're living in their brother's basement, and then last night, their husband took his own life because he can't face his wife in the morning. That's who you're supporting. See, this is the part where I lose it. Don't tell me you're a professional. If you're a professional, buy the best. Get the Wright, get the Proto, get the Mac. Heck, you get the Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight employs more Americans and on average pays the same as Snap-on. Where's your excuse there? I want to buy a tool that's actually made in the U.S. Buy Wright. But they don't come to my truck. I don't fucking care. You're a bunch of crybabies who go online and become keyboard warriors and make up stuff and defame people because you're pissed that you fell for the marketing. Man up. I'm trying to be the best me I can be. I'm trying to be better than this, but I'm so pissed at listening to you people cry. I see all the other channels, and I see it everywhere. You will cry and whine, and you will screech at people who say that Snap-on isn't the best. The facts don't back you up. It's a terrible company. They've been sued by literally everybody at this point. They even lost a lawsuit to Harbor Freight. They've been sued by Milwaukee, by Harbor Freight, local jurisdictions, all sorts of people. There's even whole pages devoted to what a POS company this is. This dude, $10.7 million this guy puts in his pocket every year to lie to you. I had widows sitting there telling me about the fact we were told we were selling all American tools when most of the tools that get sold aren't made in the U.S. Everyone talks about the hand tools. Most of the hand tools are made in the U.S., not all the hand tools. All those electronics, made overseas. Even like, well, the power tools say they're made in the U.S., the charger and battery aren't. And yet they still lie. When they sell a kit, it still says made in the U.S. Why can they get away with it? Well, they probably got some congressmen in their pocket, is what I'm guessing. You have no excuse at this point. You're just acting like an absolute child if you still want to believe the fairy tale. I could go on, and I know if I do, I'm just going to lose my cool because you people you're just little spoiled freaking brats at this point. You have not one leg to stand on. Every single thing you said has been proven false. They're not the best tools. They're not the best service. They're not the best company. They're anti-American, in fact. Harbor Freight employs more Americans. Stanley Black & Decker is the biggest manufacturer of tools in the United States. There's criticisms for all of them, but not one of them have I ever had to deal with someone's wife crying on the phone because they... You probably have a Michael Vick jersey that you wear with your Snap-on hat, don't you? So freaking American. Google it if you don't get the insult. For everyone else, you all take care. God bless. Shine on.